Welcome. Today on Most Prestige Minds, we'd like to introduce you to John Dickey. He is a individual that has studied at length the meaning crisis that plagues our culture. Everybody welcome John Baraki.
Hi, everybody. I'm John Baraki, and I'm here to tell you about the meaning crisis. First of all, I'd like to say, it's the same word. First of all, I'd like to say that I think we got a real crisis in this world, and that what I like to do, besides meditate, is talk about meaning. Right? I talked about like a monkey that jumps from author to author through the Western canon. I've come to discover that we have a disjunct in meaning. And what I'd like to tell the audience is about about that I'm over here and you're over there, and so you're an object and I'm a subject, and that the difference between the two I'm going to call transjective. Transjective. Now, I think that makes me a prestigious mind in and of itself. The spy's just jumping around, swinging from author to author, thinking that I got something important to say about the calamity that we're all facing. Now, at least I was able to articulate it through a series of meditations. And Christ, I have kids, right? We all have kids. By the way, if anyone's watching, they can tell me whether my audio's on or not. But
John, would you say that you're part idiot, or that you just like pulled this all out of your ass after a series of meditations and readings and rolling around on mats with men grappling, such that you can get an idea of what their body and genitals and sweat feel like more than your own wife?
well, I have kids in this world,
And I have kids in this world, and I think that it's important that my kids are raised in a world where there's not a crisis of meaning. Right now, I talked to my good friend Jordan B. Peterson and Jordan Shitbag Peterson, who rips off Derrida. Now he would be representative, and the way I like to stand in and speak for Jordan B. is by wearing my Argyle socks. The punchline is obviously not working. So that being said, welcome everyone. John Baraki just wear his glasses over here. If you have any questions for John while we're doing the interview, let me know. The meaning crisis is really meaning of like all this shit, this ethical toil that I'm going through, right? Of trying to maximize the meaning in the universe, my meaning, right? By scaling up, by becoming more, right? By becoming the maximum version of myself. But there's been a series of humilities that have stopped and backtraced me personally. What do you think, John? Well, that does sound like a meaning crisis to me, Oscar. And I would say, by the I've already lost a viewer. All right, so sorry. This is just for people that know me that want this introduction. This is just me trying to work on my painting. Why? Because this is the long version. Did I get a shorten? For later on, for when I'm doing these speed videos, right? And so why not, right? Why not talk a little bit of shit about John Drabaki and Daniel Schmuckenflucker, like sitting around a triad at the meaning conference or at the I forget. I don't even know why I got stuck on John Baraki today. I'm actually reading a book on irony by this one, Claire Colebrook, and it's pretty nice. And but excuse me, my issues are really more about things that are going on, obviously in my world, right? I mean, the first question about philosophy is: are we in a matrix? Right? Is this a simulation? Right? And normally, normally in my the history of, I was in a chat room today, and I met this very verbose, shit talking but polite lady, and she was so good at shit talking in this kind of closed system that it reminded me of my younger self, and I was so happy about that. Before I realized that there was an inflection in the entire universe, right? That the universe is actually speaking to us. It's actually a living thing, if you will, that's reflective of us, and that shock and awe of having the TV talk to you, of having coincidences not only occur but occur in real time, and when that shocked my very meaning, right? To me, it was like a Satori or some sort of this advanced system, right? Now I'm not a numbskull, and the lady wasn't a numbskull, and we were two non-numbskulls hanging out together. And I don't see. Okay, I got everything wrong. I got this whole video wrong, right? I should be just having fun, because that's what I was getting at, right? Is that the meaning crisis and everything had to do with a sense of humility, like honest humility. But I thought, for what? For myself, for my ethics, uh, for world ethics, right? And I just, people like to talk about ideas, sure, but they're serious. Everybody is so stinking serious, right? That it's so great to get bullshit artists in comedy. And I mean, I know they're all over the internet, right? And, but, see, even my, shit, even my talking about it ruined what I was trying to have this break, right? But basically, I was humiliated. I was humiliated because I was trying to maximize my world, and I lost it all very quickly. And I thought of William Burroughs saying, "Don't elevate yourself above your station." And I'm like, my station? You mean as a complete low life 2-bit postcard peddler in the day of AI art that makes me entirely vestigial, you know? Uh, and yeah, and so I was having a crisis of creativity this whole year. I was getting very serious with all sorts of shit, and really upsetting, right? And then part of it had to do with, do people appreciate art? And I thought, well, yeah, maybe they do, maybe they don't. Do they appreciate me? Not at all. This channel's dead. I am here for noob, white belt, epistemological head flipping. I'm here as a blog and part bullshit artist that just talks about things. But what had happened is, after this post enlightenment, this post maturity, this insight, this bonding with the serious nature of things, right? And getting way too bonded in it. Then I found myself eventually, when I found, this post-art apocalypse, right? I found this post-art apocalypse pulling the ground right from underneath me, kind of. I mean, I still have an art show, right? But anyway, and then I got so serious. And then I lost everything. Now, I'm not saying the world shouldn't be serious. My nephew, right? He's in the hospital, and oh God, this guy's a radical. I mean, he lives hard, uses a lot of junk. Now, there's my nephew, right? My nephew is, in fact, let's see if I can get him up here. See, my nephew is, in fact, John Vareki, right? That's my nephew. Okay. No, but the thing is, and I shouldn't even be showing it, other than he might die, right? I went to meditate and read. I read this book of irony with him. Okay, so here you are, Brad, buddy, don't die in the ICU. So, lack of oxygen, 3 heart attacks, very violent when he came in, had cardiac arrest, and had another one. And they analyzed his brain, had some shock in it that they think, ruins one's capacity, brain capacity, and it may leave him a vegetable if he doesn't die altogether. And they're doing an MRI today, and that's how yesterday was spent in the day. And then after that, it was taking my frail parents over to this particular house that I'm staying in, this most prestigious house. Thank you for letting me be your guest, right? The most prestigious house. And once again, if you can hear me, put a note, yes, in the chat box for all the millions of subscribers that are following me right now. And anyway, but the meaning crisis for me it was finding out. I mean, first of all, the world, including this picture, including everything, including a feedback loop to the public, somehow it appears that the universe is form fit, right? It's form fit and it's reflective back to ourselves, or I'm just going to say myself, right? My interpretation of the world, right? Because I had my lid flipped after, like this very shit talking young lady who I admire, and told her, "Hey, you better get on stage," right? And we just went back and forth, and it was just rotten growing like, "No, it is haram for a woman to speak. Women do not speak. No, no, no. They are not allowed to speak. You should zip it. You should put tape over your mouth, or you hairy beast, you hairy monster," right? She was talking shit like, "Oh God, you sell postcards for $30 a whack, like your Dollar Tree economy, your Dollar Tree personality just gives me the creeps, like, and your fake Muslim accents talking about haram, the forbidden. If it's forbidden for a woman to speak, you should shut your hairy monkey pie hole, lady. Do not speak that way. It is absurd, right? It is absurd." And so anyway, though, this new year started off like I was going to be king of the crop and top of the hill, and I tapped into something, and I was like, I need money to make this go, this boat. And so I devised an unethical way of achieving said seed money, which then I in turn lost. And then I did it again, believing I'm going to recoup my loss and then pay back, which may be in this other dialogue in a clubhouse chat. Somebody was saying, like, these are fake promises, right? Meaning fake promises. It's bad enough that I've already stolen my parents' car, right? Meaning they were talking about car thieves, money thieves, right? And then, but it all had to do with the idea of what is somebody when pressed to a limit, what are they going to stress in order to maximize their life, right? If you default back to the state, steal from the state, steal from the economy, steal from just theft, right? And I thought, God, is my life, and I had come to the conclusion, like a thief, a mockery of an old dream. Like I became a monster way back when, right? By destroying myself. Despite it having what I say is supernatural influences. Despite all that, my ethics were tested, and so the first 3 days of the year, I'm all up, and everything's great, and then I'm not. Now, notice how in my painting, this particular character is dying, and my cousin Brad is, not my cousin, my nephew Brad is hopefully not dying in the hospital. And anywho, this particular broad in this chat room came in, and all these other high-minded, mostly black high-minded folks in the chat room, plenty of white high-minded folks. Not that I'm racist or anything, right?
But I am because I'm white, right? So therefore, the definition of race has to apply to whitey because you're white.
Um, but anyway, there was just this dialogue, and normally these high-minded people are not used to like younger shit talking, all-inclusive eggshell. Let me do this because while okay, never mind. Okay. Screw me for even trying to talk about this dumbass painting as being a reflection, right, of my world. But I have an egg over here, and I need to put in a woman giving birth with a chicken head, giving birth to this fairest egg, right? But anyway, my whole history in terms of relationships with women, uh, I've had some great ones. I was actually, and I am in one way like a good guy to date. I'm not a bad fellow, but I had commitment issues, and that was the problem. I was trying to track back those commitment issues, and I blamed it on my mom as being as henpecking my dad, and she still does in a way, right? And they're octogenarians or practical and such. Anywho, this is the problem, right? If I could just keep my videos on a single topic, that would be great. But instead, I weave some, you know, long, infused personal anecdotes and narratives that turn this into a babbling blog that will get no traction, right? And then, won't get a lot of following or a lot of likes. People dart in, my view rate will be down. By the way, like and subscribe, right? And anyway, and then I thought, well, I'm not maximalizing my existence on YouTube. I didn't form myself to be that way, right? I come from the amazing atheist, Amenda Bark Lord Piero, y'all, Cardone, not Cardone, William Cardno. I just all these old school, old guard, Asrianock, and X, Y, and Z, Nate, and there's a whole bundle. There's a whole bundle of guys, whole bundles, and they're out there. But they realize, like, oh God, all these like interview talking head dialogic mofos that are trying to like be very, very serious and like, let me tell you about the way the world works, and this is how things are. That's me mocking this Green. His last name's Green, and he did this like the power, a book on power and a book on seduction, and then these other books. And listening to John Baraki and bullshit, Peterson, hack job Peterson, and I'm giving everyone credit. They're not all shit. But the point is why so serious, right? Why so serious? And I thought, this morning I was like, yesterday, the last 4 days I've been completely humiliated, lost tons and tons of money in the markets. I've been avoiding art to get to this point of focus. But it was on two trades, right? So I lost all this money. And so I'm trying to recoup it and even pay off people that lent me. This lady Julie lent me money. This guy Mark lent me money. I lost it, so I'm recouping it. And anywho, the point is I was already humiliated. Then to find out that my nephew was kicked out of his house for screwing well, he's my nephew-in-law, and he was screwing his niece-in-law, and this guy, I mean, he's caused a lot of problems in the family. I even let him live with me at one point. And he would just walk in and walk by me and go to his room. And this would happen again and again until I, as his quote unquote landlord, I like threw potatoes at the wall by his door, and then it unnerved him until he came out. And I was just saying, hey, get out here, Brad. You get out here. You tell me what the hell's going on. You can't just walk in here and ignore me and go into the room that I'm granting to you without me having a clue about what's happening, because I'm floating your boat. Not that it gives me a right to your privacy, your personal life, but I demand some degree of communication, so that I'm not just left holding this weird bag for you to flip out. Well, the guy he did come out and he told me how bad everything was in his life. And this was years ago, right? And then he just went to the streets, and then his dad took him in, and his dad himself is a piece of work. And his brother got married, and his brother was a pretty high radical. Anyway, this guy, homeless, using a lot of drugs. He's already had multiple heart attacks, right? And he's only in his early 30s. And here he is again, but this time it comes along with brain damage and lack of oxygen, and they don't know what's gonna work or not work, and to save him. And so anyway, all of this coincides with reading books on black magic or magic and irony, and getting back into these philosophical traditions of, well, do you have free will? And that if you have free will, that means you have to have freedom from something and freedom to something. And this doesn't overlook determinism. And but do we live in a matrix? And is it a simulation, or are we solipsists? And then, when I hang out with my folks, and I'm too serious, even though I'm cooking, and it's humble, it's nice, or it's polite, it's okay company, like these stuffy guys trying to solve all the world's problems. But the damn problem is that it's too serious, right? So when I was humble, I was serious, and when I saw my nephew, I was serious. And when I hung out last night and cooked for my parents, brought them over to their old house here, and cooked and spent time. There were a few laughs, couple, but it was pretty serious. And then this morning I get up, and this shit talking lady, she comes in this room with all these high-minded dudes, and she just talks a load of shit. Like, you call that hair? That's like mushroom stew. Like, you guys are idiots. You American idiots. You're all this way. And I'm Lebanese. I'm beautiful. You guys are not right. The guys are trying to toss crap back to this lady, but she's just on fire, right? She's on lightning, right? And I'm just like, had I given my any production time, given production value. To any of these videos that I make, right? Instead of like, hey, I'm going to paint it for 3 hours on a video, right? So that I have something that looks remarkably like a speed video that I can use later on, that I can chop down into a single minute, right? Then that's what the point and the purpose of this is, right? See, somebody now I have 0 viewers, and I got a single like, so it's like, hey, we appreciate you, but I got shit to do. And so your story is about simulation theory, and about seriousness, and about irony, and about the loss of money, and the loss of family, and all these other things. Sorry, I need to go look at why trans people are shit. Why women aren't just like this whatever show is on, and they're just humiliating these supposed purple-haired girls that are having sex for money, or being cam girls, and trying to humiliate them. And I'm thinking, look, we live in a capitalistic society. You guys built this society. The internet has porn. They need money. They want money. They're animals. They like their sex. And all these conservative guys like, no, we got a value of virgin, and we need a virgin. No guy wants some woman to put around. And you women are just idiots. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, man, these women, should really say just what I said, like, we're in a capitalistic system. Shove it up your ass, and then try to seduce them, right? In the back end, like, I'll correct myself. I'll be pure. And then seduce them, and then bite their fucking dicks off. Like, oh, you Harry Mon, just do a Lorena Bobbitt, right? And just just ruin these assholes that are trying to like, hey, we got to course correct our society. Jordan Peterson's starting at the new wave right wing. This is the best way to go. Blah blah blah. The leftists are screwing everything up, blaming humans that are responding, youthful humans that are responding. Maybe they weren't raised in some biblical Abrahamic virtuous home. And basically, to me, it's like, hey, look, because we got a bunch of Bible thumpers and Abrahamic believers, they believe their ethos historically, and it does historically dominate, right? That somehow they're the king of the shit, they're the king of the hill, right? And that they're doing it quote unquote the right way, living life the right way in basically unprecedented times. Like we have the printing press and electricity, and now we have the internet, and now we have AI, which I'm trying to overemphasize in one aspect of this particular piece. Anyway, we're already at 25 minutes. It must be such a bore. And as far as I know, my microphone doesn't even work. And I tried to get it connected. Bear with me, folks. I know you love listening to me for approximately 8 minutes, as my stats say, is the average time of viewer that I have, right, on these mega things. Anyway, I wish Barkler would come on and tell me what book he was recommending that I read again, and that I could write it down again. I get so caught up in the text that I'm reading. There's this infinity of texts, right? You think you got an idea, old Anton grifting his new robot on robot fake art. Like, hey, you're just a robot. Look at you being a robot. He's like, well, I'm not I don't have the artist's integrity. And so I don't have anything, to lose by doing this. And so, I'm not an artist. I made this book about robots on robots because I was thinking about it. And here's for sale. He's just grifting off of being this professor trying to come up with, well, what am I going to teach my students about AI? I'll just do all this, blah, blah, blah. Make a book. And I could take it personally in a mirrored universe. Why not? He was speaking to me, right? Being a meanie, getting payback, and so be it. But it doesn't matter, right? AI it makes everything that I'm doing in terms of a utility, in terms of profession, nothing, right? Doing the old school art is nothing. It's kitsch. This is kitsch now. This is just over labor. It's a laborious pile of bullshit to do hand drawn art. But the AI seems to have censorship on it, and you can't just type in visual prompts. I mean, hopefully there's AI manipulation would allow not just like knockoff versions of other people's art to approximate an idea, but actually like the development of the process of the imagery for even this painting is a process, not a pre-imagined process, right? I didn't pre-imagine this. It's a process to get to the end result that's dilated over time for a human mind. And there's no censorship on this. There's no safeguards, and it's not like building out this illustrative, even digital contrasty thing. Anyway, okay. So before I go off on a tangent, even though I should, because hey, how am I going to change, really, right? How am I really going to change, right? But I was just saying this guy that did wedding photography and movie cinemas and stuff, he's become an electrician for houses because AI has wiped away his career, right? And all these photographers and all these artists and everybody else is like, and then there was just something that kicked in that talked about, once again, art, art as personal meditation, art that, somebody even said, look, human-made art is going to become, obsolete, but then there might be a premium on it, right? It might become overly valued, right? Maybe all, and then to do videos where I'm actually drawing it is like proof of human doing. provided that in the future you don't think like, well, this is just an AI animation of this guy doing art, and he's not really in here talking to us or doing art. He's just not. He's just not, right? Most prestigious minds present John Vervaeke, the gentleman that created the meaning crisis, the gentleman. Anyway, so I thought, why not come on and just babble and try to figure out what sort of punchlines that I could have. But I do realize, right, that it's difficult. It's difficult being me when you're amazing and then not having a punchline to prove it to your audience about how amazing you are. I'm not a, I've done some stand-up comedy. It's not my profession though. This is my profession. And so anyway, I'm in the hospital, but I'm talking to the ladies in there, and I'm thinking, hey, I won all these court cases. Maybe I should become a defense attorney. I'm good at it, but I just thought it's hollowed out. It's as hollowed out as all these dead words that these people are following. I mean, not dead words. I mean, I like book, and I shouldn't call them dead words, but just the idea of printed text is not alive. You're not in live dialogue, which is why internet preferences dialogues now being recorded. But in the camera isn't upside down enough. This is bullshit, right? So we're just gonna do this, and I'm gonna drink coffee. And I am gonna talk. So screw you guys. Screw you guys. I don't. It doesn't matter, right? Because even this recording is a type kind of reflection. And it sounds to me like the more people are walled up, trying to make their bag, trying to get their money, trying to do their thing, right? Trying to build their families, right? Trying to do their mini-me meat bags and go against the anti-natalist thing, because it's life and you're a coded vibration, you're a harmonic vibration, and this harmonic vibration should naturally echo into another being. Like that's ultimately a new paradigm, a new tangent into and against the anti-natalist ethic. In my humble opinion, right, is that organisms and things, even in a deterministic world, right, even though you can hijack your mind to some extent, make a choice away from something to something, be aware of it and avoid it, the harmony of individuals on the most minute level can and does have a resonance, right? And I had my chance to have kids, and I screwed it up. I don't imagine. I mean, this other lady's like, dude, you can be 90, you can live you can always have it. That's the benefit of being a guy. She's post hysterectomy, post having bladder and hysterectomy surgery after one of her infant daughter died after a year. Her older son made it, but it's thrown her into such a mental wreck. Her daughter dying, and then she has a hysterectomy, so she'll never have a daughter. And then she talks about the virtue of being a guy and da da da. She's just throwing herself all over the place like Marla Singer in Fight Club. Okay. Anyway, and then I talked to different people at lakes. I talked to this guy in California, and he's always, like, I don't know what to do, tell me stories. And he's been on, he's fine. Everything's fine. But he's got his own thing, right? He doesn't trust anything. He's like, oh, that's a pyramid scheme, and the Bitcoin's and nothing. And why into then can't we just be happy? And isn't everything going to be okay? And I like my frou-frou coffees, and no, I'm not going to hit on anybody. I mean, I will online because he's good with words. He's good with razzling and dazzling and doing something. At least he's doing something until it screws it up, right? Anyway, so my point is after talking to this lady, I realized, and I went back because I am on these dating sites, right? And I was like, and I started to look at these profiles, and I thought, everybody is so sincere. I want love and commitment, and I'm not here for a quickie or a hookup or anything. I want this and that, and I want it this way, right? And it's like, tell me why, have it your way, right? Like Burger King. But everyone's so damn sincere and serious, and I realized I reread my profile, and I thought, no matter what I say, no matter what this guy says, I sound too serious. I sound too serious. So I went back, I reread my serious profile, and I erased the last sentence of each paragraph, and I put in punchlines. And I laughed typing it. And that's how I spent this morning, right? Meanwhile, across the ocean in a villa owned by one woman who is a Bitcoin 100,000 air trader who got me into this trading system, which I was willing to test my own ethics and define myself as a proper thief. Um, you know, uh, she is pushing me, and I thank her for pushing me. Even if we are in a simulation, even if she is a simulation, even if she herself is some futuristic bot that's just guiding me. Because I'm busy making these arguments like, hey, every town you drive through, you don't know whether or not those houses you don't drive around, whether or not they actually have a back or whether or not they're like movie cutouts. The Gideon problem. You never test the Gideon problem. Same thing with Amendum when I was like, I was talking about supernatural stuff, and I was like, hey, look, if you haven't tapped every inch on this 9 3/4 wall to figure out where the proper entrances into Never Never Land or into Hogwarts, then well, that's on you, right? You need to test it. Sorry that you don't believe that the world actually is there, or that there's escape hatches, or that everything you ever wanted and dreamed, even if we're on a dreamland, even if this is a dream world, right? We're just dreaming and echoing, right? Dreaming and echoing. The sentient people, other things are dying and whining, and I see it with my own eyes, and there's not enough bullshit to go around. Suffering exists, and I'm not going to hear it. I don't care if we live in a matrix or not. In the matrix, things are existing and suffering, and so why bring another one in? And I'm like, well, because of resonant harmonies and new spirits and new minds and other minds and the training program and to be a parent and to live within the harmony of the history of humanity and these organisms that have these kids, right? And so I'm busy like telling this guy in California, he's younger, doesn't have any kids. Like, dude, you're gonna wanna not screw this up. When the gods help and show up. Speaking of gods, there's Stanley Kubrick in the bottom there. Thanks for playing. Then, uh, you're going to want to have kids as not only just mere legacy, but as exercise for you as a hedonist, as a selfish hedonist, as a harmonic historic organism that is not going to hijack itself away from the supposed care of others when the anti-natalist has plenty of they have okay positions, and by default I am, but I figure, hey, somewhere along the line, I'm gonna find some matching harmony, right? Maybe there is a happy ending that includes like some sort of like, yeah, and then my family all got around and they died around me on my deathbed, and I knew I cast things in the future, and God will write me in the book of life because I made a baby, I made life, so I'm in the book of life by default, right? Isn't that what book of life means? Doesn't that have anything to do with Satori? Oh, it also has something to do with Satori. Oh, it also has to do with personal spiritual rebirth. And then John Baraki, he does make some good points. I actually really admire the guy. And then I thought, well, why don't I just do my Christopher Michael Lincoln? Because of Michael Lincoln, I'm the smartest man in the world, and I got the cognitive model theoretic of the universe, the cognitive theoretic model of the universe. And of that, which it says is these Telons, anything that's outside in the unknown finally has to know it. It comes into the grammatical field, and then we know it, and then it's in the grammatical field because type kinds in the greatest category, they evidence God, right? God not just merely as the first cause, but God as the greatest category, and that these are the greatest categories. And then somebody, I brought that up to them. They're like, God, you sound like Jordan Peterson. And I'm like, oh, I was trying to quote Christopher Michael Language. And they're like, no, he's got this all like not knowing exactly what God is, and they were trying to echo saying they sound like him, and I just went back to saying I don't think so. By the way, I don't normally speak like this, only when the camera's on, right? Or I'm drunk. Otherwise, I'm actually pretty well tempered. In case you wanted to get to know me in person, those people that have seen me for a long time, it doesn't matter. Anyway, this is just a blog. One of these blogs, like, hey, here's another human with words dribbling out of their mouth, trying to come up with something that's, important in more than 60 seconds to talk about. But then I lambasted myself for always never staying on topic, right? And I thought if I'm gonna do a video and I'm gonna make a hand puppet of John Barecki and Jordan Peterson and Dan Daniel, I'm a fat bearded wise man that's going to be the interlocutor amongst two other people and talk about the crisis that is heading towards a necessary calamity on the planet in terms of consumption and hey, we need to focus on this, right? I mean, I appreciate all these guys. I do appreciate them for sure. But I sat there and I thought, why so serious? Just eat another McDonald's burger in the foam and throw the damn thing out, and then believe in the holodeck version of the universe. It's not like you really have kids. None of you really do. They're just holodeck versions that you've experienced. And when you wake up, the end of Grimm, you wake up and everything is back to normal in the spirit land. You're just in the next dream, the next holodeck. But the thing is, we know what dreams are and everything. But the problem is that when one actually has their lid properly flipped, not just in meditation, not just in Satori, right? Not in just redefining the universe, but in redefining the universe to yourself such that there's no possibility of not interpreting the world as a harmonic symbolic echo of self. Maybe I should say the impossibility of not doing that, because that's what this lady comedian, this lady shit talker, brought up to me today. She's absolutely fabulous, right? She's absolutely fabulous because it was so oblique. These are just oblique, random comments. If you're American, she shits on American. If you're black, she shits on black aspect. If you're white, you got a problem. If you're old, you're a creep. If you're a woman, you're great. She's great, and then you also do a little bit of self shit, but for the most part, it's a defensive operation. And I thought, God, it's classic comedy. This lady needs to be on stage as a natural, because she's got this defensive thing, right? And the Jordan Peterson, well, the creative mind is radical in this way, and women represent chaos, and chaos needs to have order and control. And I'm like, we don't always have to frame everything in terms of chaos and order, right? Everything can be framed that way. It doesn't have to be framed that way. It can be presumed that there's always a set or a balance, right? And that Jordan Peterson knows, while he tries to maintain his serious, like, I got to get ready for the getcha and get them back quick, be Johnny on the spot with my answers so I don't sound like a complete moron and an idiot like I did in front of Matt Dillahunty or whatnot, or whenever his pants are down in a conversation, and that he actually has, as far as I can tell, like pretty much zero sense of humor. And then he wears his eye goggle and his blue shirt, and he like prances around and makes his money and has all this influence over these minds. And he himself radicalizes, galvanizes the right wing, right? And I mean, if you're naturally serious and right wing and whatnot, and use coke on the weekends, and you're raising, I'm kidding about the guy. My criticism. Well, shit. Why criticize the same old people? criticize Anton, Jordan Peterson. And I'm trying to bring John Veracke in the mix, right? Because he's got this transjective thing. And I was just laughing today thinking, yeah, his whole definition of transjective has to do with a bridge between the subject and the object, which I thought, isn't that what we call intersubjective? And you're calling it transjective because you want to coin a new term? I don't know. You know, intersubjective presumes there's an other, so they're the objects. You're not denying the object, you're speaking to the subject. So there's something that's transjective. I mean, I think he's just trying to take this semi-ambiguous set and say, oh yeah, let's just call that transjective, right? Once again, back to Anton grifting his robot book, which I should be printing my own books. Anyway, so I came across thousands to repay a debt, and I thought, well, why don't I just jump back in the game yet again and make more and then pay it off, right? And then late last night before I went to bed, or actually this was yesterday morning, I was on Clubhouse again. These two guys are just having a dialogue, reading a book, talking about Kant, talking about the liar that promises to give something back, the thief, right? And I have this sympathy and empathy for at least attempting in my mind. See, I need to focus on drawing. To empathize as if I am behind the eyes of the person I'm speaking with. And if I don't even make the attempt, then something about what it is they're saying, the content of what they're saying, imbues itself necessarily, meaningfully upon my life. As if you're listening to me, or whoever listens to me now will think, oh my God, he's really speaking to me. Old Das Pook here, old Numbnuts here, old what's his fucked self, whatever I am, is talking to you. Like, oh yeah, he's really mentioning something that makes sense. All three of us viewers that'll never watch Numbnuts here, never find anything that's. See, by the way, the persona here, because I feel like I have to talk and not just relax. Like, I remember these old art blogs with these like 3 or 4 guys. I got on it once, right? And they all sit around and they draw together while they're filming themselves drawing, and they're talking. And I thought, that's kind of cool, right? But I couldn't listen to hours of that. So I don't, just fast forward, right? Just fast forward. Don't look at the man behind the curtain as much as I'm not being quiet or faking my voice or my tenor. And so my point was I can't be taken seriously. Any woman that sees me online, right? I attach my name to this shit. Then they watch this and they're like, that's the guy? Nuh-uh. No thank you. Absurdist by default. And then the problem with being quote unquote approximating an intellectual, right? You might not read the same quote unquote good books or the same quote unquote philosophical books that other people attend to, right? And your reading list determines part and parcel what you view or how you view the world, right? Everything you experience, all media, has some role, provided that it's effectual, right? That doesn't, goes without saying. Oh, criminy. How am I going to get these Kubrick monkeys to hold that proper cell phone up? And anyway, let me just skip topics. And I can't see it. Here's the thing. I am so stuck on genres and personages and ways to look at things, right? And like, oh God, he's going to tell us another story about what's going on in his life. It's another damn journal entry. Look, I'm here to talk about ideas. I'm not here to talk about people, and especially not you. Not you, Das Pook. Not like this. I mean, I used to like you before you were a pussy, before you wore tampons on your head, before you actually put the camera upright. You know, back when you could make 10-minute response videos to people, and YouTube was a shit show of argumentation that's now formalized into terms of service and rooms and things you can't say, and the appropriate limits, censorship, the modern day of offense, and all of that. You need to grow up, Mr. Dusty. You need to get in line, get in gear. No more of this. The wiles of the artist's mind, the crazy creative, right? No more. There's no need for it. You've been lambasted, eclipsed, made irrelevant, right? Which partially also I thought, what is this video other than proof of life? I'm certainly not attempting to goal orient a marketing on this, even though, like, go to miketrail.art, buy some postcards off, buy some vestigial human postcards off, right? Get my grift out there, right? And so I needed money, right? I set this guy up that was interested in art. He's not going to be back in Florida for 2 more weeks. I need the money quick. But he wants to paint it. I'm busy like, look, I'm going to die with my paintings. It's not because I don't want to sell them. I would sell them if the price is right. I've sold my probably my best masterpiece. I sold for $4,000. I needed the money. Right? I needed the money. And anyway, so these other ones I was hitting people up at 10 because, hey, inflation, right? And but then when somebody actually wants to buy it, right, then this dream that I have, right, which is why I'm going to get the money. Why I'm getting the money. Go get the money. The money is first, right? Then I can pay to go to law school, or I can go, be a respiratory therapist, or whatever else that a crazy guy repositioning himself in the world of the norm, of the normal workaday people. Get in there. Go back to school once you get the money, right? But these are all promises that I have before you make a lot of money, right? Go into politics, fund your own presidential campaign, be the guy, be the change, be the future. Don't give up on it. All this gap. Like, who wants a brown guy as president? A foreigner like Barack? Vivek with a weird head, a banana head? No one wants it. They want Trump. Oh, the establishment wants to throw Trump under the bus and keep him there. I'm busy like telling people like, oh nope, Trump went to Epstein Island plane. He just took his own plane. Yeah, no, he wasn't. He controlled his own flight logs. Of course he was there. How else would he be pissed on by 14-year-old Russian hookers and that the piss tape is true? How else? It was, of course it was. No. Oh, Trump's clean. As if Trump is clean, quote unquote clean. It doesn't matter, right? I'm more concerned that some guy has a TikTok video where he asks Alexa about when World War III is going to start, and it's, oh yeah, it'll be an invasion of the Chinese into America in March 2024, right? I think the crisis has to do with we are being fed not dissimilar data, right? I mean, once the Epstein release came out, the second one, everyone knows about it. Just the world being quote unquote on the same page makes me want to talk to homeless people that don't have cell phones, because at least they're raw, they're detached, right? They're not just caught up in this mix, right? But then I can't help but listen to these philosophical motherfuckers with great production value sometimes. Just go on and droll on about thoughts, about these ideas, and then even though they're interesting, they're not funny. There's not a lot to laugh at, right? You're just watching a confluence of agreement, or a little bit of disagreement, or outright debate, right? Just people barking, and I'm like, maybe I'm just not tuned in. Maybe the only thing that's going to make me happier is just watching hours of stand-up. And maybe that's what I'm missing, right? As I'm too serious. But so anyway, the point was there was a bit of irony as I became humbled, humiliated because of this loss, right? And then I paint this, and when I go see my cousin, even though that photo I showed you, or my nephew in the hospital, right? Even though I show you that, it reminded me of this. His eyes were doing something like this guy's eyes were. And I was so worried about painting this when I was reading magic books because it was like a form of invocation. And it's all absurdity, but it's not. Once again, I can't deny that what I make can or may and often does have some weird reflection in the universe. But then, for the most part, these are still thoughts that are flashing before my eyes that are finding a bridge, this transjective bridge, if you will, between an occurrence outside myself, not just an object of occurrence, but occurrences, scenarios, and have them like a TV drama or like Jim Carrey, Truman Show, or Will, what's his nuts is the subject of a book. What's the drummer? I can't remember. Everyone I'll try to remember. It's not important. Anyway, point is this idea that we are, products of an echo in our environment. I go to a coffee shop, I get coffee. Everyone in there, it's a reflection of me, down to every person. They're standing back, right? And if you walk back from that, then maybe the narrative matches, then a scenario matches, then something else matches. And this is the lack of perceptual shift that the likes of someone like, well, I won't mention our favorite anti-natalist, right? He's incapable of recusing himself from his own thoughts about how something could possibly be considered because he believes he has a monopoly on the practical. And I tend to not disagree with him on the practical aspects of suffering and distribute other minds and whatnot. But I was telling the guy in California, I said, now the likes of a guy like ummmm, right? Well, he puts up one lie to bolster his huge truth. His huge truth is that, yeah, it's awful. We have these organisms that we make that suffer and die, and we know we do that. And so why are we doing that? And that's a truth, right? But then his falsity has to do with there are no waves, there are no harmonics, particles. They're still particles, and the two-slit experiment is a bunch of shit, and everything just boils down to inorganic matter. That material primitive components are somehow at root necessarily to all things, right? And I tend to think like, hey, the inorganic comes from the organic. Anyway, I'm even speaking too seriously. I have no punchlines now. And the problem with me is that I believe what I think. And the problem with me is that I'm a babbling idiot. The problem with me is that I don't have company. At least in my older videos when I was painting, I'd be on the phone and there could be some degree of shit talk or back and forth. All I know is perhaps I need a moment to reflect, right? I'm not on stage. Like when I have done performance art, it's not the same as doing stand-up comedy. And right now I feel like I'm doing performance art. So you guys have to deal with me. Especially if you're going to listen to me in the background. Like, yeah, let's put this guy on for 2 hours or whatever the fuck. Anyway, and then I marked, like, and I just thought, okay, well, God knows, God, if you will, meaning an all-seeing thing that is transparent to your mind, which is where this echo is found. It's found in your sincerity and your honesty to look at yourself and realize that the external world is, in fact, speaking not only to you, but to you and you, talking to you, for you to talk to yourself about how it is they are actually in your mind. But now the news cycle, the fractured news cycle, the occurrence, like Instagram and these clips and TikTok and their limits, and then the YouTube shorts. I mean, it even goes without, without commentary. Why speak on this this thing when in fact it's quick data, it's sales driven. People seem to like quick difference, and that being discovered, right, for whatever dopamine hit, or hey, give me the next, give me the next. Let me push the next wrap button down. Let me go to the next moment, right? Especially for people that don't have a lot going on, right? They got a lot of downtime. They can really fracture whole times, like people pissing away their days what doing video games. You piss away a whole day, really? You piss away a week, really? I wanted to be a video game maker. Still, if I go back in time, maybe I would have. And their industry's going to be dead now, right? So I missed that whole epoch. Like, oh, the first programmers to develop the internet. They're not needed anymore. They're not needed anymore. Game makers, artists, the whole bit, they're not going to be needed anymore. So, but if I could go back in time, it would still have been good because it was up my alley. But I have a bad history with that, and people that know me know my history, and I'm not going to repeat it. But the point is, I'm not in the industry, but I was watching the industry die. That's not the point. I forgot my point. Thank God it's okay to lose track. Thank God you meet people online and they lose their train of thought and they admit it. They're trying to bullshit themselves and just picking it back up. But then that just shows my bad acumen, right? And then that shows that I'm not thinking robustly. Probably because I'm drinking too much Foster's. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a tower of Foster's. And so now I would like to interlude by playing some drums because I'll let you know, all I've really accomplished in adding is putting the word AI right there on this clown dolly robot that is punching these this pin inside of this railroad machine fighting John Henry over here. But anyway, so this became reinterpreted for me, right? This became my nephew. I invoked my nephew, and he screwed this young woman, and maybe this is his kid with her. Maybe she got pregnant. I don't know, right? This is part knockoff. Some popular lady artist was doing night screwing women, so I had to do my own version of it. But he's also AI, kind of like this lady is supposed to be AI, right? At tearing Norman Rockwell off his thing. Meanwhile, we're at 2024. Here I am. That's my little self-portrait, bathing in the blood of the lamb in The Shining, where the lamb is being like smashed in an elevator. In The Shining, right before the blood comes gushing out. Another Stanley Kubrick thing. I don't know why I wanted to bond with Stanley Kubrick, other than he's so accused of being this notorious, faker of the moon landing. And quite frankly, I'm tired of people shitting on Stanley's cover up. I almost need to go get more coffee, but I'm not doing this. I'm not going to abuse you guys. I've been on for a fucking hour. I'm an idiot. And there's not a lot of interaction today, and it doesn't much matter, right? It doesn't much matter. Like I said, I'm doing this. I'm just trying to get some okay shots of me drawing so that I can shorten it up and make one of those funny clips. Some guy was talking about this lady that took 7 months to do this painting, and they're winding it down to a 1 minute clip. And I thought, well, that's what this is going to be. Okay, I'm trying to get this camera to not fall over by using a cup. It's ridiculous. Oh, somebody actually chimed in. Okay. What are you talking about? You sound like a complete idiot, Daspook. Do you interact with the chat? Hello, Wombat says. I should be interacting with the chat. I should be. Maybe I'll pay attention more. I'll make certain to turn around. Bongos over here, yes, to the left of me. Ladies and gentlemen, the most prestigious mind on the planet, mine, right? The center of the node of the universe, yours and mine, right? Are here to discuss why talking heads and people that think they know better are also full of shit, and that you're really free and you should talk more shit. People should talk whatever they want to talk, and other people should interact and engage, but quit with the controls. God, everyone trying to control the expression of others. Like grammar is restrictive, sure. We're trained to restrict. We're trained in social mores, like don't overtalk women. Or it is haram that women speak at all. They should shut up and put duct tape on their hairy pussy lips. That are idiots, right? Or whatever, right? Like say whatever. This whole like social movement to restrict speech that is entirely like it. Granted, there were always restrictions in speech and mores, but to now have it in this way, it is peculiar, and it doesn't allow for everyone knows what it doesn't allow for, right? How it's restricted, but it mirrors grammatical restriction, and then it mirrors the restriction of behavior, and it harkens back to these Abrahamic moral restrictions, basically. And I'm not saying that there's not a utility in those. I'm just saying that the human organism shouldn't necessarily have to find other people's ideas as antagonistic. And so while I was tossing some shit back to the shit talking lady who was being defended by this other woman, but really, and I was like, yeah, come on, it's just you women gaggling, getting in here to white knight each other. Just because she came in, like, why is everyone attacking this woman? Why are they attacking her? And then she realized that the woman was talking shit, and then she took her side. And then I started getting in on the action, and then some guy comes in and says, you shouldn't say that to a woman, right? How dare you? And I'm like, come on, buddy, calm down. She's a shit talker. I got the right to talk shit to a shit talker, and I need to do it, right? Because I need to get, even though I'm humble, I'm too serious, right? And part of humility is realizing, like, hey, if you relax enough, if you just take it easy, man, while you're drawing this, if you don't have any expectations, even though you're trying to like say something every second so you don't lose someone's attention, do just the opposite. Just calm down, eat a bucket of cheese, stick in peanut butter, make certain that you can't talk for a few minutes, shut your gob hole, right? Just let everybody view what they're going to view. Just be at peace and harmony. Then you'll have flow, right? And if you have flow and not no care, right? I don't care how long you guys have to wait for me to talk. I don't care how long this video is. You're watching me. Tune out if you don't like it. Shit. But then I'm like, wow, this guy wastes a lot of time. His life is a dumpster fire, which then once again brings me back to why the exercise of doing art is important to the artist as also an ancient yet modern occurrence. Oil painting, art, painting on things in this way. I mean, we've always done it on rocks and papyrus and other things, but we have a history of it now, and so I would say that, like learning a new language, we have a history of expression to this, and that people, you get a lot of manual laborers, right, and they view it as an art. You get a lot of doctors and people, they use their hands. People like to use their hands, or manual. That's part of what being a human is. And yet at the same time, the issue has to do with what does this process do for me. Even if the inflection on art because of AI has rendered it useless, doesn't mean that the doing isn't something like a personal control mechanism of my soul, something that I've always utilized, right? And my folks were over here, and I don't think they like this painting too much at all, or this drawing, right? We go to the hospital, there's all these beautiful landscapes, very serene things, maybe a painting of some hurried nurses. Shout out to Heather Olson, IHC Hospitals, for her doing paintings that were copied and spread throughout the whole Intermountain healthcare system during COVID. And good for her, right? She's a young upcoming artist. I've met her. I like her, and she likes, she would never touch anything that has this lowbrow undercurrent of the profane. right? Well, I watched the Grimm episodes. I've read Black Magic. I see that, quote unquote, the devil or his legion deal in the subtle profane, right? Not overt profane, right? That's just on its surface, on the face. It, it, like it's like watching a cow be slaughtered when you're watching like violent porn or rough porn or something like that. And I'm not saying that's not quote unquote part of what would be considered like a satanic way. Part of it wouldn't be framed there, but I'm saying that the subtle, right? There's nothing particularly. This is probably the most sexual, right? But it's something. Well, giving birth, and I got this ween over here, right? But there's just something about this long tongue going through this. Something about something that I grew up within. I grew up as an allowance, and I grew up around such a Puritan Mormon society, and there was always you're the outsider, right? Even when I know better, even though I can paint flowers and landscapes and attempt to beautify them, my goal, my aim, right? When I was honest with myself, I realized, like, God, am I already part of the legion of Lucifer, legions of satanic elements? Is humanity now just a legion of millions of demons? Is David Bowie a demon? I was like trying to introduce my niece to David Bowie, and show all these tangents with Lou Reed producing Lou Reed songs, and being caught up with John Lennon and the Beagles, Bing Crosby, and all these Trent Reznor and stuff, and going over a few of his songs, exposés on David Bowie and his influence. But I was referencing him as a type of demon, because there was something about his work that was just near obscurantism. It was like this the subtle profane, right? And it was the subtle profane that is what was hallmarked in this dark magic book. Not, once again, not the overt profane, the subtle profane, as being a hallmark of something satanic. Like, you're going to see something in this, you see something in my body or my words or my person, and maybe you'll think, obviously this guy is of the devil, right? Which then as you reflect on the idea of black magic, at least in this particular case, some guy framed it to me of, look, the true black magic book, or the black magic book, is an exercise in the history of exorcists, right? Exorcists, the priestly class that goes out into the world to exorcise demons from people, reads a grimoire on how to raise the dead, right? While they're learning how to exorcise the legion of demons, and so it has to name their sigils and their way in order to denote them, right? And then somebody was arguing, well, music itself, music is of Satan, right? And I thought, well, what? Because it's pagan, because it's primitive, because they were doing it before the Abrahamic tradition. Yeah, which Christian church can you go to that doesn't have music? And I thought, well, I don't know. Some don't really focus on it much, but other ones, they live for it. They have Christian music and Christian bands, and they allow it. So the musing, the harmonics are what's used, right? Now, even all this. Let me see. Let me check chat. Nothing in chat. Oh, no viewers anyway. Thank God. Thank God. I pity the fool that actually listens to me. But at least, YouTube gave me a fair shake. Whoever's typing in the box there, I've never heard of them. So, maybe I do have a little more exposure. Hi, I'm John Varicki, and I meditate, and I teach a class on how to be a monkey, jumping around from one author to the next author to the next author, and how this one answers this one, and that this has generated some non-cohesion that has developed into a meaning crisis. So transjective, and now I'm famous. And let's talk to Fat Lump Man, Daniel Schmackenberger, so that he can tell us the woes of the future of humanity, like every generation has its soothsayer. I don't know. And then we got our Jordan Peele. David Bowie once wished, he's like, what the West needs is just a little bit of fascism to put it, in check. So it's not just this vulgar liberal whatever goes, right? I mean, he's a sophisticate. And I was watching the I'm Afraid of Americans video with Trent Reznor, right? And thinking, well, Trent Reznor must have done the electric on this. I'm Afraid of America. And I thought I couldn't get a credit. I couldn't find anything about the song that said Trent Reznor did anything more than star in it, right? And he was chums with David Bowie. They're friends, and he made the video, right? Not that he did the music. But anyway, at the end, he's like, I'm afraid of America, I'm afraid of Johnny. They say that the song is about American guns, and there's a lot of shooting in the head, like going on, right? Inside of the video. But at the end, there's this whole bit of God is an American, and then Johnny, right, Trent Reznor, is pulling the cross, right? Speaking of cross, get back up here. Anyway, so I think since somebody asked me what it is I'm talking about, and that, disparate thoughts may appear chaotic, but they are not, fact, at least from the person speaking them, necessarily chaotic. Things are weaved together in the individual's minds so that they're not always disconnected. As a matter of fact, it's best to go into, in my opinion, to go into a discussion presuming that there's going to be segments away, like free-floating ideas, like tangents that hopefully have an adjacent meaningful cross-section, meaning that they apply, that they're an adjacent meaning, a contrasting meaning to the topic that one's driving at, right? But the problem, I think, with me is that unless I have the controls of the interaction with somebody else, right, in a dialogue form, unless I have somebody else to dialogue with, I'm unbounded. And then I do fractionalize the thoughts that make sense to me, and I do then try to reweave them back in, like, yeah, this makes sense with that, and that makes sense with this. Anyway, and none of this matters. None of this matters because really, ultimately, my concerns are unnerving me to the absolute core, right? Mortality, the death, the idea. Like, I was reading magic books because I thought there's got to be a way. There's just got to be a way, if everything, whether it's the case or not, whether or not I'm Picard living this weird life for 90 years or whatever, and then I'll wake up and I'll be captain of some ship, and they'll remind me, like, yes, sir, they just captivated you, and you were on their hologram planet. That was the way of this alien species, teaching you how to live on this alien planet. Even if this is what's going on, everything is disturbing. The mortality, the not knowing how to stop entropy. The reason I picked up the black magic books is like trying to pick up a medicine book, trying to pick up an apothecary book. It was like, there's got to be some secret in here. I know there's something, quote unquote, higher dimensional. I know there is some degrees of magic, right? But then I hear things like, this morning before I logged in, like, the humble man is more likely to succeed. As soon as the man is no longer humble, he is likely to fall into folly and lose himself and his wealth and his being. Right. And I thought, well, God, I've been a fool my whole life in a way, not really, meaning ever since I knew Sean. This guy, he was a mentor for comedy and shit talk. And see, none of you are laughing now, by the way. Let me just tell you this. None of you are laughing. But if you could read my profile, none of you would still be laughing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let's see. No new viewers. Heartbreak, tongues, meaninglessness. And so this whole thing could be a biopsy of one human mind that the AI won't generate, shouldn't approximate. But this won't flatter anything unless you were in person, unless you went to one of my art shows. This is not a flattering image. It's not necessarily something that people. I mean, people will meditate on it. When I have a show, I meditate on all sorts of art. Maybe it's just me. But it's not just me. Obviously, there's a certain class of people that like to focus on art. They're not just caught up in the whimsy of the ephemeral moment that they're living in, and they want to delve into contemplative states. And I don't know, guys. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know anymore. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do, man? Well, I'm gonna make my bag again in yet another way. Other people have made their bag. They've already got. They're ahead of the game. Everything is smooth sailing. All they have to do is put their investments in order. I get mine. I lose mine. Seems to be the habit I'm trying to break. And I realized I lost all this because I misread some data that I only have a very short glimpse of time to review before I put in a trade, right? But to trade in the market is to glean off of the world economy, is to glean off of the backbone. It's considered legal, it's part of our system. There's nothing truly ordinarily wrong about it. Nothing wrong about it, except for in a philosophical way. Maybe there's an ethic about it. Kind of like being a rent seeker, right? I have somebody that pays me to watch my cats. I'm not a rent seeker, but the idea of like people like, hey, what are we going to do? People don't want to pay rent. Why do these other people own houses? Right. And somebody, my solution was, well, what you could do is if somebody owns a property, you could outlaw them renting it, right? If you wanted to get rid of rent seeker, you could outlaw landlords, right? Meaning that the only thing that you're able to rent, well, you wouldn't be able to rent, right? If you outlaw rent seekers, then you're outlaying rent, right? No one wants to pay rent, and so basically you'd say, well, look, if you're a landlord and you have a property that you're not using, you can't rent it, right? You limit them and you say you can't rent it. Now you can let somebody stay in it, or you have to sell it, right? Those are your only options. They stay free, or you have to sell it. Just goes against property. It just goes against the history of property. That ethos is from a primitivism. It's just a primitive thought. But why speak on this? Why do I talk? Especially since the buildup. I'm in the hospital talking to this nurse. Oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm just kind of caring for my folks these days, and trying to pivot and redefine, myself in this way. But you know, wait, and that's not impressive at all. They're trying to, here I am reading and talking to my in a coma nephew, and they think it's great that I'm doing that because they think that he probably can hear, or people do hear, and that I'm spending time with him and I'm reading, and not a lot of people apparently do that, so it was impressive. But they were also like trying to figure out, like, well, what is this guy's business? He seems very peculiar. Maybe they don't think I was peculiar, but they were interested. Right? And So, but it's embarrassing to be around competent professionals that are younger than I am, that are well on their way with life. Right? They didn't get hoodwinked by a friend uh, in their prime years when they're ready to pop. The whole you get one chance to blow. You get one opportunity in a lifetime. That kind of Eminem argument that I mean, I believe you get multiple chances, but a big chance when it's laid out in its front and you're in tune with it, you should take it. I think, but I ended up allowing a situation before I had a greater scope of the world like I do now, which was my fear talking to this lady, this eggshell, expansive eggshell, shit talking lady. I'm like, lady, you got a hell of a talent, you got good insight, but you're naive and you're not going to be brought into sophisticated groups. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. This we're moving into hour and a half two. I have one thumbs up. I have no viewers. I'm actually going to turn on the my phone and no, why? Okay. I have to use 2 cups. See how I'm using these cups? By the way, here's my mini brain. In case any of you thought that I had no brains, you're wrong. Look, I have exactly one, and it's the size of a small rodent's brain. I'll be using that to do the rest of my conversation with you throughout humanity. Yes, I'm just a thistle, a parchmenty piece of nonsense that needs. Okay, let's compose this with my tiny rodent brain in such a manner as to use 1 cup to hold the camera and the other one to keep it from sliding because my coffee is now gone. And what is the point? What is the point of all of this? Oh, that's right, using the handles. Okay, back to handles. This is ridiculous. Where's my GoPro? Here we go. I know, that's what we're gonna do. You guys can just turn it around. You guys are gonna listen to nothing and you're gonna like it. Uh. Craminy bread. That's bread. That's criminy. That's upsetting. Oh, and then to think that if this is, if not only are we in an AI, we're the verge of the being involved in the manufacture of the metaverse, of the holodecks, of this, right? It, I put forth the proposition that this has already occurred and that we're already in said matrix. So this is a simulation. I think Elon Musk agrees in that he believes that it's probably a simulation. There's good odds of it being a simulation. I agree with that, in that it does appear that we're in a simulation that's creating simulations, right? It's a mirror off the metaphor of the matrix. And the thing is it's not bullshit, right? If people can imagine something, it has some place in the world, whether or not it's just, disregard is fiction and hence nonsense, or whether or not it's given credence, right? But to what extent can one give something credence is what's at play. Anyway, I actually have to get out of here. I appreciate you guys. I mean, wait, I got a one viewer. Hey, look, buddy, look, you're right there. Whoever you are, you're watching me right now. Oh, hold on. See, you're the saving grace of viewer. There you are. We don't want to run away. We want you here for the remainder of the 2-hour session, whoever you are. I'm kidding partially. I don't want to abuse you. I don't want to disabuse you to the idea that what it is I'm saying is going to be somehow an amazing thing for you to want to overly indulge and enjoy. First, let's have a word from our sponsor, Claire Colebrook. Irony, a new critical idiom. I like, critical idiom, the idiom of the individual, down to the individual. I thought that is important and inspirational for said art projects. Anyway, I was trying my best lady voice on Clubhouse. Like, hi everybody, I just here. I wanted to talk to you. And like, oh for sure. No, you're great. No, we'll get along. And then I was like, use your Indian voice, yeah. No, yeah, you dancing dervish, or you're a kafir. No, we do not allow. It is a prohibition. Uh, it is kafir for a woman to speak. Keep your mouth shut, you woman. Or say blood. We'll talk some. And I was just going over this nonsense in my mind. Like, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point? Revealing to the AI that people have these talents so that they can get one up on you, huh? So the AI can get one up on you, huh? So that the internet can get one up on you, huh? So you can control these ears, so they can mimic you, and they can match you with this particular universe of thought. See, 2001, 2022, the death of Neo, death of God. 2024, the Matrix being built, the AI right there. Thank you very much. John Henry, the railroad mythos fella, and he's competing with the AI pile driver here. He's losing. He's way behind, and he's going to get thrown off track. And then we're back down here to Faster Pussycat Kill Azarobot taking off Norman Rockwell once again, and then Stanley Kubrick pointing up to, once again, the birth of the phone in 2001 and the birth of the baby, and then the Terminator and Sophia having a drink. And there is a magic dog. I killed the dog earlier. I'm just waiting to cook the dog. It's flinching a little bit. We'll put it in my mills for a black magic ceremony later on. Of course, I am just kidding. Do not practice dog cooking at home. Save that for these slaughtered kind of bovines, unless you're a Hindi. In that case, please do not participate in cow slaughter either. If I had a dead cat, I was almost trying to get a clavicle because the Black Magic book was talking about the ligimitan of the cat clavicle. You have to sacrifice a cat, and then there's clavicle sacrifices. There's spells about clavicles. None of that, of course, is in this painting. But anyway, whoever came in, I appreciate you being here to listen to my babble, even though I think what and part of all I was doing with this video was simply trying to what was I trying to do? I was trying to talk and produce some segments of production that, if I would focus on one area, I could use in 1 minute bites later when I do a full speed video of this particular painting. And so that's why I'm on here rambling, honestly, just talking some smack, and partially by explaining it, I actually got myself maybe unfocused on actually doing it, right? And maybe it would be best if this was a silent movie, then people would just come and go and concern themselves. I'm trying to pay attention to the words that I'm adding. Whilst I be conjuring this vestigial human artifact, for whom in the future, for who other, I do not know. For just you right now. This is a special little art thema of the. Oh. So who knows what to say, right? Any of my two viewers want to jump in, that's fine. What do we have up here? We have 2024, 2022, 2023 odd. I see 2002, 2001, 2004. Then it wriggles back and goes to 2001. And ChatGPT. And the good wife, or the Google wife, is the death of Google God. Google God, AI God, death of Google God is this machine. Neo-Nietzsche, good old Neo-Nietzsche over here with his gun, killing Google God. Very important. Blood of the Lamb, swimming in the blood of the Lamb. This lady, she's here now. I'm down here. That's me with the glasses on in this tub painting this bloody painting in the blood of the Lamb, in a tub of the blood of the Lamb, sitting in front of the shining elevator with all the blood that Stanley Kubrick made. And then this is a snail woman, a slow woman that's like Sagittarian. She's shooting into this heart, and her and Stanley are filming this magical peg. This magical peg is when John Henry gets to this point, and he goes through this inflection, and then he'll hit this magical peg, and then boom. Where's the logic take us? Well, he'll come over here. The world will be created through another infant that will be the fairest infant. Let's get into Sophia, race, some race element. Yeah, the logic there might break down. There's a tongue, very long tongue undergirding the railroad track where all these people connected to this 5G tower, and God's fingers are looking at their phones, and he's tying each personage will have an array covering it all up here, the shining star, the real God, not just Google God, all pointing towards the galaxy, the Copernican galaxy. You know, the non-heliocentric world. And we're back down to one person. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that this was influential and not informative. That's right, I wouldn't want to be informative while I talk shit. No, sirree, not this comely fellow, not this prestigious man that is about to say adieu. Grace. Oh, you showed up, finally. Shit. And you might save the day after all, after our bickering and our blowout and our bullshittery, and my apology recording on one of your phones, your text numbers. How dare you do a knockoff, I'm an 8100 operator, and now I use modern tech to create text numbers. And that's my version of controlling a whole switchboard of. Well, since you're here, then I will linger a little longer. Maybe you got some text to shoot. Boys, you were here earlier. I'm sure talking some shit about shit. But yeah, no, there's drama. I'll have to rewind the video. Maybe. Just balancing the camera. Son of a gun. So balance that camera on these cups while I find out what I did with my, what do you call it? My pencil sharpener. I'm all out of sharp pencils. And I'll be back shortly to see what you type next, if you type anything, as I go 10 feet behind me to get you pencil sharpener. Whoop! I even talked to Doug a little bit about your losing your gob. Okay. Whoa! Shit! Oh, it's snowy out. I tell you, it's snow. We got the first snow. I'm a humble artist now, doing my absurdism. Where is my pencil sharpeners? I'm gonna lose my shit. I have two of them. Where are you? Don't drop my readers. Where am I? Why am I here? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? What's the point? Why am I at the center of this universe? Am I reflecting back on some future Don't we need babies and money in here? Yes, we do. Money and babies, babies and money. I still don't know. Okay, do I put them in my pockets? Are they on the table? Are they on the ground? So now I mimic my semi-senile parents who have misgivings with where they put all sorts of stuff. My dad loses his wallet, he loses the car keys, he loses his keys, his house keys, he misplaces items, he forgets where he is, forgets where he's going, so does my mom. It's a little tragedy with them. And now, okay, look, for what it's worth, I think I gotta get off, I think I gotta close down shop here. Or maybe I shouldn't just give a shit. Just don't give a shit, right? Just hang. But no, I'm not going to hang. I got to go, just like you had to go. I think. Well, maybe you're there. Anyway, I'm trying to find these pencil sharpeners. Maybe I'll take you guys on a tour of me trying to find a pencil sharpener. That'll entertain you for a moment. There we go. There is what the background living room looks like. Will this thing hold up? Will this thing actually do anything that I want it to do? No, I doubt it. Okay. First and foremost, where is my cod piece? So impressive. Is that it? That's it. I found them. Son of a gun. Maybe Lydia's on the line also. Now look. I've got lots of money. I'm rich. I'm stinking rich. Now, I'll tell you about why I'm stinking rich. Look at that. See that? That is a stack of dough. And I mean, that's fake dough. That's $100 million right there. 100 million. In case you guys want to be purchased. Oh shit. You guys didn't even hear that. No, I'm not rich. I'm unrich. I'm anti-rich. Okay. That being said, I got stark charts over there. I got old paintings over there. I got a couch there. I got my my ween here. And let's get back down to business. Okay, wait. How about I do coffee next? All right, even though you guys might not hear me, I'm going to turn this around. And then this will be more nonsense for the viewing pleasure of somebody that wants to watch me make coffee. Calamity. Mushroom coffee. Not even real coffee. I'll just put it on. I'll be right back. God, it's snowing out. You were here. Somebody was here. Let's see how the snowfall was. And I'm quite a brilliant man, in case you didn't know. Look at me be brilliant. There are far less brilliant people on the planet. I know several of them. We all get along quite well because we're birds of a feather. We all act brilliant while being completely idiots. But we don't know it because we imagine ourselves smarter than we really are. Yes, it is an effect that we have on one another. In our community, isolated communities, you can't be intelligent unless there's other people that prove you're intelligent. You can't be lucky and considered intelligent unless you come up with a program that you can sell. And money equals wisdom. Maybe. And you can't hear me, so I'm not even wise. I don't think you can hear me, so let me do a puppet show. Let me go, Hi, I'm John Baraki, and I'm here. Hi, I'm Daniel Schmockenberger, and I'd like to talk about how it is we can avoid the incoming and calamitous collapse of civilization as we're using resources that we can never get back. And it's at such a high rate that the crisis does not allow even our best efforts to facilitate a means in which we can avoid tragedy. And so we must face this impending tragedy. Yeah. Where's my money? Yeah. Give me the. Where's my? Okay. Now we're back to pencil sharpening. For everyone's viewing pleasure, I think I'll get a bag right here to do my pencil sharpening in front of y'all again. Thanks for watching. I might have more viewers just doing pencil sharpening videos than I do trying to talk. Maybe I'm a better performer than I am a speaker. Maybe I'm a better speaker than I am a performer. Maybe this is absurdist isms. I'm going to put this right there. This will be the closest thing to the profane you guys will get from me while I'm waiting for coffee to brew, right? Put my clown nose on one finger, the brain, my tiny rodent brain on the other finger. And now watch this geek trick, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, this is the preliminary shaving machine. Oh, I gotta get this thing on. God, no, this is killing me. Okay, and now, whoa, I'm back. God, I bet that slide, you probably turned it up. Sorry to surprise you guys with my voice here. Boy, it would be great to finally bring somebody on and have a conversation from remotely around the world that's recorded, but God forbid we do that anymore. That's old hat. That's pre-AI. That's, so let's see how sharp that is. You see? You see? Do you see? Do you see that? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? How about this one, huh? Huh? Do you see that? All right. Sorry, I'm yelling. Okay. Well, look, I'm going to put my QR code on the screen here in a minute, which is on my card. And okay, so that was what I was going to put on here, right? I was going to put my QR code on the painting, draw it on the painting. How ridiculous would that be? How tedious would that be for me to draw out by hand my QR code and test it before I finish? And I thought, no, just cut it out. Hey, just cut it out. Hey, everybody, look at me screwing this pencil into my crotch bag here. Catching. Thank God we got pencils that catch crotch filler. Anyway, and I thought, yeah, do that. Do that. Put the QR code on there, but don't be a fool. Airbrush that shit. See, there you go. Freeze frame it, copy it. You know you'll love it. And then over here, we'll put it this way. Right here under Nietzsche, or over here by the AI tree tower and the blood goop. And I'll put a big QR code there. You guys will love it. Trust me, you'll love it. Anyway, when does somebody have their own voice, right? When are they not just mocking? Or people that have their voice, are they fools for not mocking, or not mimicking, or not allowing their mind to settle into something? Oh, back of my machine. So we've got gravity is a myth. Thank you very much. We got this guy. We got my art, McPhail art, Abios Resurrection. We got the Monarch skateboard shop. That star reminds me of somebody that was happy I was doing 7-sided stars. We got this hand, very colored. We got Dali. Not only is this mustache crazy, it actually, see that? It raises off. The sticker actually pops right off of the side. And then we got Cargo Coal. This bad, I want to say bad Salt Lake Gamey band. Okay, back here, you guys are back to watching me get coffee duty for a sec. Coffee's almost up. These cups worth. Whoa, shit. Hope I didn't turn my camera off. What do we got? Nope, still on. And we have 2 viewers. Holy cow. You guys are practically make my world go round. I'll be back in a sec. I got my brains in my pocket and my clown nose on the ground. I got myself kicking shit and I'm going to town. I got broken feet and I got a broken back. And they're healing and I'm rich and I don't know how to act anymore. Except for with this magic dog who teaches me how to give it food. Well, dog, how about I ignore you and do my hula hoo with my back, with my back, with my back, 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 with my back, with my back, with my back, 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 back. All right, well, I think actually for your viewing pleasure, I'm going to go, well, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I can't get the bongos over there to echo inside of my head. This thing. Maybe I should do a test, right? It's that 4 chimed in. Right, maybe she'd be able to tell me if it was hearable. Somebody's been writing. He's writing some doodad, but unfortunately I lost my glasses. So hang on, let me find my glasses. So maybe I can't even read them. Son of a schmockenburger. Schmon of a lumpy dumb ape schmockenburger. And change this whole video to mimic mock schmockenburger and Baraki for being cool dudes. Oh, there are my glasses. So I'll drink coffee and then go here, and then we'll maybe do this test, right? This test of the emergency, whatever the fuck system this is. Okay. Landry and Mickey Cow, I was sober stressed. I should keep my thoughts to myself. Sorry, Doug and Dus. You look great, Dus. Still, it's coming. We are all rich. Maybe. Because we're just doing that crossover into our matrix tubes, and we'll appear rich to ourselves. Laugh out loud. Birds of a feather. Are you streaming through Streaming Drop? No, I'm not. I don't know. All right. Remember to like and subscribe. I know you're subscribed already. Remember to like and like my sharpener. Oh, shit. Okay, hang on. Now here's the test. My dumb fat fuck. What I planned what this prestigious mind, dumb fat fuck me is going to do is go try to do a little serenade, and you'll have to let me know whether you can hear it. And so I'll come back to see what you type in the box for a drum intermission. That works. Try to get this here. I don't want to unplug the mic, otherwise the mic may, well, it should. It does come over here. So it'll probably work. All right, I'm just going to play to practice because look at I want my coffee. Got my bag of bullshit. Got my book. Got my coffee bag here because I buy in bulk. In case you guys didn't know that I bought coffee in bulk, this one's empty. I'm just finishing it up. Thank you very much. All right. Walking in the park, it was morning, it was still dark. Up by the river stood a lady dressed in purple and paisley. She stood up before me, put her hands out as if they were for me. And she started singing directly to my heart. She said, I see you on that path each day. You walk on by, I shy away. I never do know what to say. You don't know me, but I know you. I know you through and through. You're my big well, my love true. But we're born to each other, for each other on a parallel planet, 10,000 light years away. Don't forget it. remainder of the humanities, the leftover vestigial organisms that we are trying to do anything like human-made art or human-made music, what's the point anymore? We're the leftovers. We're that which will train AI to entirely eclipse us, to make us irrelevantly irrelevant. Yeah, you guys didn't see any of it. I had the chair in the way the whole time. Thank you for participating. No, I don't know what Shadow Stream Now drop link is. I don't know what that is. Look, this is great and all, reading tidbits of the X, Y, and Z, but more cowbell, I know, thanks. Well, even that, even being online again makes me feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm a little rusty. I'm not bringing home the proper visual and harmonic bacon. The bacon, bring home. I want to bring home the bacon fried up in a pan. And my bacon's made of dog meat. And she'll understand, 'cause that's the little poochie will be cooking when we're ready for picking. It's dog harvesting time. Shut up, dun, 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 dun. I age in dog years too. I know myself through and through. Okay, hang on. What am I thinking? What? Oh yeah. Okay, so what I need from that hand down here, once again, this is an echo from an old piece. So at least I'll have a trend line. Uh-oh. This is probably, oh, this is my old man. You guys are going to hear one half of this, maybe. Hey. I'm drawing and drumming and making a video and streaming right now, I guess, while I'm drawing. And the lidocaine patch you can swap out anytime, Dad. You can swap that on her back. You can swap out the large pack on her lower back. Take that off and put another one on her lower back. As far as the tiny one, don't remove that. I put Band-Aids on it. I told her not to put her bra on, so it doesn't. I didn't think to put it there because I didn't know that her bra was gonna yank, pull it off. Well, just have her lift up the back of her shirt and look to see where the pain patches are, and just verify that there is still a tiny one up higher on the right side of her back. Leave that one alone, yes. But the larger lidocaine, the larger one on the bottom, take that off as soon as you can. Put a new one on. Give her a couple more green pills. And but if the little one is off, that's gonna give her a lot of pain. She needs to keep that one on. No, just make certain it's on. That's what I put back. Yeah, just make certain that that's. Yeah, you can put a big one on her lower back, as long as she's still got the little one on her upper mid back there. That works. And sorry that's happening. Two of what left? Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, I'm wondering if you can hear me. Oh, hang on. Yes, I'm here. Sorry, my wire hit the mute button. Then you can put those on. You can put those on her lower back, Dad. All right. I'll talk to you later. Don't take the little bitty one out. Don't take that one out. Okay. But it did you verify whether or not she still has the little one on her back yet? Okay. Well, just don't let her take that little one off. Don't take the little one off. Just put another big one on her lower back, the lidocaine one. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you later. Check up on you. All right. See you. Boy. Um. Anyway. Anywho. Oh. Uh-oh. My nieces. See, there's tragedy going on in the house. My nephew-in-law is in a coma right now in a hospital, and he is so he had a heart attack, 2 heart attacks in his early 30s. He's in a coma, and he was deprived of oxygen for, I don't know, 7 to 13 minutes was the feedback I got. He was in the hospital when he had the heart attack, but somehow to get resuscitation to him took so long, and then he had some spike in his brain activity. And now my niece, his half sister, is thanking me for going over there, but I'm almost afraid to read her text because I don't want, even though I'm sure she's overly polite, but she only texts me when there's an emergency. She never texts me if there's not an emergency. So I don't know whether or not I want to be streaming and read this text. But so I'll put it off, actually. If it's an emergency, she'll call me. If he dies, I'm sure I'll hear that they're doing an EKG, an MRI on him today. So that has me in a swell. Yeah, you missed that part earlier there, Grace, Ange, and anyway, so I'm unnerved. I'm unnerved by all sorts of shit that's going on now. By the way, I'm not on the phone with my dad, in case you guys thought that I was. I'm talking to you guys as I'm trying to do this hand coming up holding money. Yet I don't even envision this one proper. I'm just making it up as I go along. Because you know what? We're not here for money. We're here for a shitload of money. That was one of my brother's favorite movie quotes. He'd always say, and I thought, yep, he keeps me going on when I'm faced with an ethical dilemma in order to break my morals and work around with, petty either white lies or believed or non-believed notions that I'm going to pay someone back. I still attempt to borrow money. I borrowed money from 3 people for a loss that I had, and I'm upset at myself ethically as I try to become a maximalist. In order to be the maximum me, I have to have tons of money. I have to be free. To be free financially is to have so much money that you can essentially do and buy and go and have whatever it is you would like, and then you are free in the material world. And a lot of people don't frame money like that, but I frame money like that. I mean, that's my belief about what freedom means. Is partially freedom is financial freedom, not just comforts, not just assets, not just accepting what you have. That's part of humility. I'm just talking about carte blanche freedom. And of course, it's not freedom with other humans or to have your way with other humans just because you have money, but you know, you don't have a real problem until you have a problem that you can't solve with money, is what wealthy people have mentioned. Which is normally a health problem or a relationship problem. And anyway, so I don't know, I'm sad because I'm going to check that text here in a minute. And I'm going to see what she says. The odd thing about my young niece is she's quite able to put her emotions in check. She's one of the more stoic individuals that I say stoic, like Teflon Don. She doesn't seem to express too many emotions, or she's more emotional when other people that she cares about are emotional than she is about the events that she's experiencing. I think even if her brother dies, of course that's going to wreak havoc on her, but I think maybe she's processing it or has some confused theology or something like that puts her in this frame. Or maybe I don't believe she's like some sociopath, although it may be in the bloodline to be part of sociopath. I know it's right. I'm not argue that. I actually don't believe. I don't even want to intuit that. And if anything, she's the least sociopathic person, one of them who I know. So I'm happy about her. I'm sad though about her stepbrother, my quote unquote nominal brother, my nephew-in-law, who's in a coma. But I went over that earlier in the video, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about that. But my day-to-day has been very stressful, even though there's low latency creativity. I just finally hey, I got to do this, right? I got to get on and create. It's like I say, it's low latency because I haven't done it in so long, and it feels practically foreign, and I felt ostracized, broken away from it, insignificant to it. And anyway, here's my little orthopedic flipper lady, fake feet, prosthetic singing lady here. Da, da, da. And so I don't know. I guess I don't know what to say, right? I mean, there's no time for a punchline here, so I'll just skip any punchlines. Keep this remaining pencil off of there. Anyway, there's too many preliminary sketches in this preliminary painting sketch to try to solve. But yeah, so I was mentioning how by painting that, it felt like I was invoking it. All same degree. Yeah. Although that's the problem I was mentioning. My folks were over here cooking for them last night, and they wanted to talk. They played Elvis and the Beatles for my mom and cooking, but they never mentioned or commented on this painting at all, right? And I thought it doesn't gel with them. They got nothing out of it, right? It's just inert. And yeah, so the synchronicities are one thing, and yeah, they're essentially unavoidable. The inflection from the pragmatic, we live in just a material object universe with no intelligence, to realizing that no, it's all alive. Information is alive. The feedback is alive. That realization, that click away from the conditioned pragmatism. Some people, they were arguing about Kemet and the ancient Egypts. These are Kemet people. They taught their people mathematics from the individual out, not from the numbers in. Somebody was arguing this online, and I thought it was an interesting idea of if everyone is born and intuits at a very early age about the synchronicities, or about the common coincidences, or about the echoed feedback from the echo people. We're all echo people echoing. than the idea that I invoked, because when I did see my nephew, his eyes, when they did open, they were rolled back in his head like this, and I thought, God, I don't want to think that somehow, that by doing this I'm echoing something, meaning that I'm invoking it. I don't mind if I'm an echo. I just don't want to be an invocation. But I'm also an invocation, I guess, as soon as I mentioned it as such. And then that's the problem with the dark arts. And but I'm not, Grace, for someone that's not a mom, needs to take on a motherly role. Thanks for the roses. Thanks for the candle. Thanks for the one up. The one up thumbs up. And I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what it is I'm doing. But I'm laying tracks. And I'm laying down beats. And I'm going to lay down some whatever it is. It is the human process. The wealth of the being. I'm not rich. I'm wealthy. I've got so much mind goo coming out and so much personality, I could just cream my genes all over the planet. I know my old Seattle girlfriend is such a comedic delight, except for when she fully gets serious, that she, it's a pity that she never got to perform in front of people, because when people meet her, they just find her enchanting in this weird sort of Carol Burnett charm. That also has some real negative clumps. Now, let's see, this looks kind of like my nephew's teeth. He's missing a tooth. I'll put him in like that. And got to tie the 5G tower together here. Get this ear figured out. Anyway, there was these art casts. These guys were doing art together. And this guy does Artocast, where I was interviewed, but it's such a janky, campy podcast of local I don't want to say imbeciles, but playful intelligences who I know personally, and they're like my channel here, it's fairly insignificant, even though they're doing some pretty good work. And the more channels there are, the more insignificant all will be, though not all, but the greater the competition for eyes. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everyone gets a chance to flip through the blitzkrieg of this. But doing a live YouTube is not the same as doing a live TikTok. Different algorithms, different speeds, different populations. And YouTube is kind of old hat, except for if you're doing shorts. Shorts are not old hat. Okay, let's get this in. There's just gotta be a way. There's gotta be a way, a better way, a better way. There's gotta be a way, a better way, a better way. I was just so upset thinking about this gallery owner that committed suicide. I'm upset that my brother died and my uncle died, and because I feel like we're on the precipice of the doorsteps of some form of heaven on Earth, but we're also just going through this preliminary quick meltdown, global resettling that's going to fracture, it's going to fracture things and cause huge distress and death and chaos and mayhem before the remaining ones, if we don't have some EMT that blows out all of our electrical fields and the internet or whatever, nuclear bomb or alien blast. If we get through the bottleneck, whoever is lucky enough, like live in a matrix or live in the Jetsons or process of both. Who cares? Blah blah blah. Old topics, rehashed old shit. Who needs rehashed old shit when we got new old shit to talk about instead of old rehash shit? We got new rehash shit. Okay. How do you get a proper suit, a proper sports coat on your your T3 Terminator? That is the question, right? He needs to be properly suited. You can't just have him going out in public with his tails off. Oh God, I still have this bag in my crotch. How many hands does a guy have to have these days? Okay. Oh, let's keep it clean. Let's focus on that, not that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here comes the pencil. Get prepared for some pencil work on our T9. Is it T9 or T3? The Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator. I forget. Okay, Sophia and Terminator. And where's the martini glass? There is the martini glass. Let's get that martini glass looking a little more martini. Can't just let AI paint a proper martini glass. No. We have to do it by hand, the old caveman way. The old caveman way that ended, the era of the caveman ended about 2 years ago. Hence, once again, Google God dying 2020 when Bing took over, and that was an invocation. And now we're in 2020. Much, and back to the martini glass. We're going to do it with pencil, and here we are. Okay, so because everyone knows, like, a robot likes martinis, or that's kind of like the, when most robots are polled, they agree that they like martini as their favorite alcohol, and there's not a lot of disputing that, right, guys? You're not gonna get into some fight with me about T9 and Sophia here don't like their martinis. What does she have in her hand? What did I drop there? I don't know. There's probably a remote control. Okay, he gets a martini. Son of a frickin' bracken. Okay. Just breathe. Don't panic. Just breathe. Calm down. You realize that she doesn't need a calf muscle there. It can just be straight. She's not a real human. She's a rubber robot. She's the real McCoy. Fake hair. Okay. Her space on Sophia is the baby. Birth. All right. Google wife. That looks like the good wife. That's the Google wife. Oh, we got our sacred symbols. And then we got the emergence into the macabre. And then we got them going through. We got the upside down reflective pyramid upon itself over here. Proving an inflection, if you will, through the sacred geometry or a crossover. I don't know. These things are just so significant for me that I just know that, future humans and future robots will feel the same. Kidding. I don't actually think, I don't believe that robots can actually ever supplant humans. They're not us, right? They're just not us at core, but they'll approximate us beyond our being able to believe a statement otherwise, if they haven't already, in this simulation theory called Mike draws his robot hand across a railroad beam. Oh man, I'm gonna end up erasing some of these lines. Come on, Mike. Quit with the shaky hand. Make the focus. Oh, 2 olives, please. No, not 2 olives. He gets 1 olive in his robot martini glass. I should say I almost want the finger to go out like it's holding it like a proper human would. I can't have a finger there, but 2 martinis. Whatever. No. Martinis have 1. Maybe Canadian martinis have 2. He's not a Canadian. This is all American robotisms. Maybe Elon from South America. He's part of the Queensland group, so he, he's a robot creator too. Maybe he knows best. Kidding. All right. get back here to this little lady, just checking her iPhone up closely. Let's get the fingers in, the hand in right there. The proper nuance in. And get this around her ponytail in the back. All right. Let's get a little more droop on that buttocks. That wearing jeans buttocks. And let's get back on over here. Happy little droopy buttocks. And we'll go back here. Now, no trans. I don't have any trans characters in here. Except for this little clown. This trans AI robot. And look at that. There's, okay, so we got my little micro money hand down here. That mirrors something I did in another painting. We got my globe here. That's supposed to be America. It's Mesoamerica right in there. And let's get. Whoa! Shit. Hey. I'm still doing this thing, but I can hop off. Let me hang on a second. Hang on. We'll see what's up. I guess when I remove this other headset out of the way, just so in case they're picking up you and the recording doesn't pick up you. Okay. So what's going on? Well, I'm at the house, Pondridge. No, Kayla sent me a text. I should just check it. I wasn't planning on checking it, so I don't know what's going on with them anymore. I don't know what's happening right now. Yeah. But why were you guys thinking about going up there or something? Were you guys thinking about going to the hospital to see Brad, or were you just checking in to see what was happening? Okay. No. Right. No, he's, as far as I know, he's definitely not. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think Kayla was there because I left. I met the doctors and I met the nurses, and I was there for a couple hours, and then I left one of my postcards there. So, and then Kayla texted me. Why don't I just take a look see here real quick about this, and then let me tell you whether or not there's anything super tragic that we have to go deal with. Oh, no, she just said thanks for coming to visit Brad. That was good of you. Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, my bill was processed, so I'm not. That was today. So, anyway, so let's not overly worry about that right now. I mean, he hasn't even done his MRI yet, so I'm thinking that because he hasn't done his MRI, that we don't actually know what the feedback is just yet. Sometime today. I'm just sharpening pencils. I was mentioning on the video, like, yeah, my parents were over here. They didn't say much about this painting I'm working on, but they hung out, and just talking. But that was still, it was good. It was good to have you over. It actually felt a little weird bringing you guys back over there because it seemed like when Mom got back there, she was more just distraught. Almost like when she was leaving here last night, like it was like her last time again, like she was saying goodbye or something to the house or something, wanted to linger. But then again, I also think she just likes to linger when we have to go somewhere. She try to figure out loose ends. And so, but I'm in the living room at the house. Yeah, I take it you're in the bedroom or the living room there. Yeah. Well, look, I can give you an update at any time. Whatever I find out about Brad, I just don't know what to think. Oh, I'll call you if it's. Yeah, well, yeah, just doing my thing here for the time being. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Meaning, well, she didn't say that. I don't actually know about her breathing or about his breathing or anything. Meaning, it was erratic, but it was rare. But when he got into this fit, his breathing was pretty crazy, and that was yesterday. But I assume it's the same. As I was there for a long enough time, it seemed like there was a pattern to it. But it was weird because when I was reading to him, he seemed calm. When I was speaking to him, he started to seem like he was agitated. When I was talking to him about his breathing, it was like he started breathing um, uh, more boldly, and then that sounded an alarm, and people were coming in. And not saying that it wasn't just, hey, there's nothing special about it, but I don't know. I'm optimistic. But it's obviously it's already a negative. Yeah, I mean, he's unconscious. I mean, he wasn't talking. It's just I don't know. Hmm. I mean, I can text and find out. I presume he's going to be the same. If anything, he's going to be better. But after the MRI, whatever the results are, then we'll get a better idea of what's happening today. Sometime today. Yeah. So no, not directly. No, not consciously. He's not. Yeah. So there's that. I'm just a bit bummed, but he's got a great staff, just like you guys have a pretty decent staff there. Yeah. So I think it's good. Anyway, I was just earlier today in a chat room calling a woman a monkey, like you hairy monkey, just for fun. I don't know what I'm telling you that. And now I'm drawing monkeys. Some well, there's the apes at the end of the movie 2001 with the obelisk, and even though they didn't have a tail, one of them I've given a tail, and one of them's a flying monkey, so it's maybe more like the Wizard of Oz. You know what this? piece needs? It needs more witches. It needs more, or it doesn't. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. It doesn't matter, Dad. I'm talking about that big old drawing I had against the wall when you were over here, that black and white one I'm working on. Yeah, so anyway, I was just kind of tapping away at it, wondering if this is the most inane way to use my time or not. I'm sure it's not the most inane way, but I don't know. It's hard to even call what I'm doing production or being productive at this stage because, anyway. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. You go ahead. I'll take this off here real quick in case my proper interlopers are listening. And let's see what she's going to say. Okay. Hey, did she have that patch on her back or not? That small one? No. Okay, good. Not the small one. Yeah. Okay. As long as that small one is still on with the band-aids, don't take that off. Okay. All right. Well, you can let me talk to her. That's fine. All right. Thanks. Oh boy. Hey. It's going okay. It's going okay. No. I'm at the house. I'm not at the hospital now. Kayla texts me saying, thanks for visiting, Brad. And, anyway, where? I keep losing my pencil sharpeners. Oh, I said I was losing my pencil sharpeners. I'm here at the house drawing. No, I don't need anything. Do you need anything? Are you in too much pain? How are you feeling? Well, I know that, but is it more emotional or is it physical? Right. I know. Now the little one has to stay on. Don't take that one off. The big one, Dad said he replaced the big one. And that should help. And then the only other thing you can do is take the acetaminophen or the naproxen, and you can take those multiple times a day if you want. So if you need like another couple green pills or the other ones, go ahead and they should be on the table there. Don't get angry at him, Mom. I know. Well, you said the other day you were upset because you used to be in control and now you're not in control of things, and that's frustrating. Okay. Well, you can call Kayla. You can call Kayla and find out. Maybe she'll talk to you. She was apparently up there. Well, you don't have to make the assumption. You can just give her a call anyway. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course you do. I'm just here drawing, drinking coffee. I'm recording a stream of me drawing that's too long, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just at the house doing this right now. Yeah, they're pretty good. I really like you guys coming over to do that, and you looking at the Elvis videos. That was fun. Now, what did you say your dad said? Look at that crazy son of a bitch. When he, no, your dad. Your dad when he looked at Elvis. Yeah, yeah, right, right, right. Okay, well, I think we're okay. But I was gonna, if I leave the house, I'll come by, stop by. I just, I'm glad Dad called because I don't know how you're feeling, day by day. I'm upset that the doctor didn't add keep keep your prescription higher until after you get out of surgery, right? It's like, yeah, meaning one doctor cut off your pain pills, and the other doctor who took control of them gave you the pain patches. But for a while they were overlapped, and for that while you weren't crying. You were more. Everything was more. You were in less pain, right? And so since they're going to do surgery on you, and the pain doctor, we're not. She's not. The physical therapist isn't going to work with you yet. Then there's no reason for her to start, removing what was working from your system. And it just seems awful to me that she was okay during the transfer, and if but anyway, never mind, Mom. I'm not clear. Meaning they're transferring doctors, so they're transferring medication, right? And so you got the pain patches when you used to have the oxys, and you had them at the same time, and then you were doing fine. Now that you're back to one, you're not doing fine, and the pain doctor can't have you do exercises until you do the surgery. So there's no point, meaning there's no therapeutics. They're not. She can't actually do anything, but she's not decreasing your pain at all. She's not. I don't know. I can call on your behalf and simply mention that to her. Like, hey, why don't you get her back on these until she's done with surgery instead of hanging her out to dry? I mean, that's the lady in the green, yeah. I mean, that's all I can think of to do, but otherwise, you just got to use the over-the-counter medication and don't let that small patch off of your back. Keep that one on. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's why I said don't put your bra on, right? Don't put your bra on until that patch runs out. Otherwise, you'll pull it off. So just not that you were, but I mean you were, but I mean not that you were planning on. Just don't do that. No. Yeah, you just don't put it on, is what I'm saying. Just don't put it on again for that until the end of next week. Yeah, I put it on the board there. It's in red on the board. It's on both boards, actually. From the living room, you should be able to see it. right? I put it on the 12th or something. Right, that's when you're allowed to put it on again. Don't put it on before then. Right. Anyway. You can't be. I'm trying to, but anyway, that's that's the best I can do. I think you should have a couple of the green pills and a couple of the just over the counter pain meds, Mom. Just take a couple. You can even have 2 Tylenol, acetaminophen, naproxen, acetaminophen, naproxen, and ibuprofen. No, they're all there. They're all there. They're all there. They're all in on by your pain meds. All 3 over the counter ones are there. You have Tylenol. Yeah, you got a bottle of Tylenol. You got a bottle of naproxen, and you got a bottle of acetaminophen, I think. Well, I don't know what to do either, Mom. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I don't know how to make this. Well, just give him the phone. Just give him the phone. Let me talk to him. Oh, hey, boy. Hey. I was just telling Mom, like, hey, just let Dad give you the over-the-counter medication, right? So the green pills are over the counter. You have Tylenol in the kitchen on the stove that might be wrapped. So look for it if it's a bound bottle that's bound to another one, and you can open those and give her a couple of those. And then those orange-ish red pills, you can give her 2 of those. Those are over the counter. Basically, every 2 hours we can just keep giving her those pills as rotation. Even though it's not the best thing, it's not the only thing that's going to qualify. Okay. Because she's in pain. Yeah. But if you already gave her green pills, just write it down also, right? If you give her anything, take the notepad, keep it in the kitchen, but walk into the kitchen and write down 2 green pills at this time. 2, or write down what kind of pills they are, and just put them in and give them to her, and then it'll put her more at ease. I wish you weren't her nurse lackey at this stage. I don't, I'll call. Today's Sunday, but we'll do the nurse provider, or I'll talk to the provider tomorrow. I think we're gonna try to upgrade so we have someone in there that's giving her pills on the regular every 4 hours, no matter what. And then you don't have to worry about all this, and maybe she'll feel better. But God, there's a lot to juggle. No, Ivy can only come in the mornings. Right. And so she wants me, though, to get somebody to come in 2 more times a day at least, if not more, just more any time they'll be at hand. And so, but I'm just waiting for the invoice, Dad. We got to wait for the invoice to kick in from the. We got to wait for them to invoice the costs, the billing costs. So. Anyway, yeah. So if you just want to give her a couple of those, and then if you gave her, it's Tylenol. Tylenol is by the fridge, right? Give her a couple of those. Give her a couple of those, Dad, and then just kind of sit tight. And what time is it there? Well, it's almost time for you guys to do lunch. Maybe in another 45 minutes. All right. No, it's just. Well, I don't have my. Let me check my phone here. No, it's only 10:45 now. So you got another 45 minutes before lunch. But did you guys eat any breakfast? Did Ivy bring anything, or did anyone bring anything? Okay, well that's a bummer. It Well, you can always give her that pizza that's in the fridge, or I think there's one slice in there. Eat that up, or you eat that, or something. One of you should eat it. Okay. Well, that's fine. Just give her the pills and let her watch TV, Dad. I don't know what else she's going to do with her time. Okay. Well, I'm glad you got it covered, Dad. Love you, and I'll give you an update on Brad later. Okay. Just give her Tylenol. Just open the Tylenol bottle. Yeah, open the Tylenol. Well, if you want to give her the green pills too, do it. Give her the green pills. Give her two of those. Okay. Okay, don't give her any more of those then. Then just give her the Tylenol. Yeah, but there should be a new container of Tylenol. Is my point. Anyway, it should mean there should be plenty of Tylenol on that stove. Dad, you should have no problem finding that. I hope. Okay, just give her two of those, Dad. Just break those out, and I'll mark stuff down on my end here too. Okay. Well, yeah, I'll try to be over there in a little while. I don't know when exactly, but I'll do it. Okay. Okay. Thanks for holding down the fort, Dad. All right. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey, ridiculi, not ridiculi. Importanti, important, but ridiculous in the micromanaging. Okay. Well, it's probably you on there. And there's still my, you know, first time caller, long time viewer on the airwaves there. Kidding, it's not the first time caller, even if you call. Blah 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 blah. Well, so there's this guy, another guy in California, and he invented a dog leash, and then they duped him slightly, promised him stuff that he shouldn't have. That they did what they said they were going to do. It's just that they also seemingly bullshit the guy for his invention. They said, "Well, we'll build a model for you." But they built a digital model. They didn't build a actual prototype model, and the guy needs. See, I shouldn't even mention any of this. Zip it. Nonetheless, inventors have their own problem. Let's do some digital blood. We'll do some square edged blood. coming out of Christ's hole here, and the hole in his wrist, makes it easier for Christ to do a reach around and do a clap with the reach around. So that is sacrilege, and I'm mirroring this theist fella that was in the atheist club in college, where I was lucky enough to do the sketch for the club, and then he did the poem. The poem somehow had something about a reach around in it, and the hole in his hand helped him clap and do during his reach around. It was awful. It was wonderful. It's awfully wonderful. All right, more blood of the lamb. Let's try catching the cup here. Let's get that out of the way. Metaphor, analog, visual, analog, nonsense, and further nonsense. Thank you very much. And this is just the first sketch. Once I get into the detail, once I get this mapped out, then I can actually get into the micro details I have envisioned for this. So we get a nice smile here. Nothing in the comment feed right now. And there we go. She's a little goofy looking. Kind of like looking over her shoulder. Hi, this is a Pantene commercial, but this is Jesus's blood. And I don't even mind. I'm not trying to mock. I guess I am, but trying. That's not the point of my mockery. I actually take religion quite seriously, oddly enough. Just don't know quite how. I don't know how to take it seriously. I just happen to take it seriously. All right. Well, for a 3-hour not nonsense video, I better wrap this up for y'all before 3 hours is up, and I'm already at 2:54. Thank you very much. Any last chat you want to put in? Just put in sooner as opposed to later. And what do we have here? Okay, let's get that caffeine. Let's get that kafir. That is kafir. That is haram. Women should not speak. That is a haram. They zip it, put the duct tape over the mouth, please. Women cannot be teachers or to speak against a man. No. Have my fun. These chat rooms are great sometimes to toy with different people. As earlier in this video, if anyone decides they want to listen to my babble, can tune in next time. Check me out on these tubes down the road. You know what I mean? After you catch up on 50 million 3-hour drawing videos by good old Das Pookie. This guy. Who do you love? You love this guy. That's right. Who doesn't? You know what I mean? Everybody loves Raymond, and everyone loves me. Everyone loves me. There's not anyone in the world that doesn't love me. They just exude love, and the world responds. They can't help it. I'm almost as famous as Justin Bieber now, in case you guys didn't know it. Fly me to the moon. Let me tell the star. Take me to Venus and take me to Mars. In other words, quit being a fool. Skibbly-doo-bloo-doo. In other words, wipe up that drool. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. I can't go around all the way, ladies. Clean that drool up. I know you're trolling out both ends. And with that, something crude and rotten, I should call it kaputs. Thank you for all the people that type their whatnot and their so forth. And be cool. Don't be cruel. to the handicap people, and don't eat too much dead dog, even if you're a witch and you're doing it for blood ceremonial magic. Just a word of advice, from someone who's been there. Oh yeah, don't get too drunk. It's bad for the brain, and eating too many edibles. You might want to watch yourself there. Just a bit. Okay, okay, okay. Cheers. And now, and it's been quite a pleasure. And this is the first episode of Prestigious Minds, most prestigious minds. Thank you for coming this evening and participating in this magical thought experiment called The End of Neo Nietzsche's Prestigious Mind and the adventures that come with this particular drawing segment. The vestigial artist, vestigial human art is now over and out at the 3 hour marker, practically given a margin of error of 2 minutes. And thank you. Thank you for your viewing on Namaste. Etc. Etc.